M. Night Shyamalan finally got his superhero trilogy. Does that mean now he might get to complete that Last Airbender trilogy he talked about? Shut your damn mouth. Split. Nope, wrong movie. Glass is the highly anticipated sequel to Split, which was the long-awaited, unbeknownst to everyone, sequel of Unbreakable. It picks up shortly after the events of Split, where we find Bruce Willis's character trying to track down James McAvoy's Kevin. Through a course of events, they both end up in a mental institution. Said mental institution already houses Samuel L. Jackson's Mr. Glass. That's about as far as I'm going to go on the specifics of this movie. And you find all of that and more out from the trailer, so no spoilers here. The two movies preceding this one, Unbreakable and Split, I really liked. Unbreakable I saw when it first came out, and while I enjoyed it, I didn't fully appreciate it until sometime later with repeat viewings. And each time I saw it, I liked it more and more. Split I also liked. I did like Split more upon my initial viewing, but I also think Split is a bit more of an accessible film than Unbreakable. Overall, I enjoyed both of them quite a bit, and was looking forward to Glass's release. So was the wait worth it? Well, it depends on who you ask, and I think it's going to be that way for a while. I think this movie's going to divide a lot of people, mainly because of the end. Like many of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, the end is where he sticks it. That's not to say everything preceding the ending isn't good. Actually, it's all really good. But the end of his movies is usually where he really brings it all together. Now, how successful he was at the end of this movie, I think will depend on who you are and what you were expecting from this movie. Seeing as I don't really want to discuss specifics about the movie and give anything away, I'm going to touch on a few things and be as vague as possible so as to not ruin it for anyone. First of all, the performances. They're all great. I don't think we really expected anything less. Everybody brings it. Willis and Jackson are great at what they do here. And all the side characters do a great job as well, including Bruce Willis's character's son in the movie, who on a side note is the same actor from the original Unbreakable. But the one that steals the show here is definitely James McAvoy. This guy deserves some type of official recognition for this movie, because he is awesome. He was great in Split, and here he just takes that and elevates it beyond that. Without spoiling anything, they have a device in the movie that's able to trigger his change in personalities quickly. And there's a few scenes, one in particular, where it just goes off repeatedly. And you see him cycle through all the different personalities in quick fire succession. But it's not just the voices he does a great job with. It's also the subtle mannerisms of each character. There are times in the movie when he will change to a different character, and you can tell just by how he holds his hands, or his facial expression, or some of the subtle things he's doing as to which character he is at that point. It is truly a masterclass in acting, and needs to be seen. Also, Bruce Willis's character just kind of falls to the wayside for the middle part of the movie. It shows him here or there, but he really doesn't have anything to do in the movie. The movie starts out really strong. After about the first 15 to 20 minutes, it takes a dip and gets a bit slower. It never gets boring, but it does slow down. But it fits here. If you look at Unbreakable and even Split, they are slower burn movies, and this one's no different. The vast majority of the movie takes place in the institution that we've all seen in the trailers. These scenes, as I said, are a bit slower and more personal in character building, but all of it's really interesting. I was enthralled throughout. Shyamalan does a very good job of slowly turning up the tension and giving you just enough information to keep you entertained and interested throughout the whole movie. So how about that end? Because that's what everybody's talking about. I don't think it comes as any surprise that the end of this movie has a twist. To be accurate, it actually has 2 or 3 twists. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. At this point, we expect it. And that's fine, as long as it's not what we expect, and he keeps it fresh. And I can definitely say the end of this movie is not what you expect. In the final few minutes of the movie, a lot of different things come up and happen with the characters and in the world, most of which in twist form. The first twist I actually really liked. I thought it was a great way to connect all 3 movies together, and I didn't see coming and thought was really clever. Now the next one, the big twist, is the one I think a lot of people have a problem with. And this twist does involve the overall fate of many of the characters in the movie. I don't so much have a problem with this twist and what all it entails, as I do with one particular thing that happens as a result of this twist. There's something that happens to one of the characters I wish was just a bit more grand. Now granted, after more reflection on it, I think that might be the point, is that it didn't have the impact that we would expect. And I appreciate that, and I get where they're coming from, if that is where they were coming from. It doesn't change the fact that during my viewing experience, it was a bit of a letdown. It doesn't ruin the whole movie, but it did stand out as a bit of a what moment. Now beyond that, there's the last twist, at the very, very end of the movie. On the surface, this plot point works, and upon first seeing it, you think, yeah, that's awesome. But once again, after a little bit more reflection, you get to thinking about it, and there are some holes that show up. The thing at the very end of the movie that happens, I really have to wonder would it really play out like that in real life? I know it's a superhero movie, but it's a superhero movie that is grounded in real life. So I have to look at it that way. And this particular thing that happens, would it have the far-reaching implications that they suggest over a long period of time? I don't really think so in today's world. Once again, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't go any further. But when you see it, think about that, and I think you'll probably get what it is I'm talking about. Also, if you really think about this movie, especially the end, there are some very uncomfortable thoughts and things that come up. You're really going to want to talk to other people that have seen it to see if they feel the same way about it. Upon seeing the movie originally, I really wasn't sure if I liked the end of the movie or not. I had to think about it a lot. I knew I didn't hate it, but I wasn't totally sure how I felt about it. After talking to some other people and thinking about it and reflecting, I found that I really did like the end of this movie. I thought it was very different and ballsy and nowhere near what you expect from this movie. This movie's catching a lot of flack right now, but I feel like it's gonna have long legs. I think it's one of those movies that right now people are really scrutinizing. But over time, people are going to learn to appreciate it even more and more. In 10 years from now, it's going to be seen as much better than people are looking at it now. If nothing else, you'll want to talk to people about it after seeing it. I was originally going to give this movie a rating of worth a rent, but because the movie sparks debate, conversation, and deeper thought, that coupled with the fact that I truly believe this movie will be viewed differently in 10 years, elevates it up to worth a buy. I don't think you need to run out and see it in theaters or anything, but it's definitely worth your time and money once it's available at home. So there it is, guys, my review of Glass. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.
I want my headphones back.
I just really hope that Shyamalan stops here with this series, because it is left open in such a way that another one could be made.
Good for you.
But man, they really don't need to.
Can't beat the beast!